So I found myself asking, what do the top supercross racers, Hayden Deegan, Chase Sexton, Jet Lawrence, and Eli Tomac eat? What does their diet look like? How extreme or potentially not extreme is it? We know supercross is one of the most demanding sports. It's one of the most physically challenging. Their schedule is absolutely relentless. So it's no surprise that these dudes are clean, are disciplined. They cross their T's, they dot their I's. The days of chaotic partying and staying out late and eating junk food is over. All these dudes are super buttoned up and disciplined. I thought it would possibly be interesting to dive into what does Eli Tomac eat? What is his diet plan? What is Chase Sexton doing? Jet Lawrence, Hayden Deegan. Hopefully you guys will find it interesting too. Now, upon diving into this, what immediately struck me was how fundamentally simple it was. There was no chaotic diet plans. There's no calorie counting. There's no keto focused diet. This is a high intensity sport, and in a high intensity sport like cycling or supercross, you need carbs. None of these riders are cutting carbs completely. It would be just ass backwards to do so because carbs are important for high intensity effort. So all of them eat carbs. The difference is, instead of simple refined processed carbs like sugar and bread and most snack food, to be honest, they focused on complex whole carbs, potatoes, grains, rice, etc. Stuff like that. In terms of protein, as you can imagine, the workload these dudes are doing, the focus on recovery, they need to eat lots of protein, and you name it, they're eating it. Eggs, beef, chicken, seafood. I didn't hear any mention in terms of something that they're avoiding specifically. They did mention focusing on leaner protein, which is not necessarily a surprise. It is interesting that weight is not a big factor in supercross. You know, you're talking about a cumulative weight combination from bike and rider of over 300 pounds. So counting calories, it just doesn't exist. It's not important. It doesn't make a difference. As long as you're not lugging like 40 pounds of extra weight, it's really not a big deal, but they do focus on lean protein. As for fruits and veggies, it's pretty much the more the merrier. Fruit does have sugar, so you don't necessarily want to overindulge, where veggies, it's pretty much, they said, as much as they can get, shakes, salad, etc., broccoli, you name it, nothing surprising there. And then sort of in addition to that is obviously hydration. The workload, the training regimen they're doing is extreme, and they're focusing on pretty much just water, not energy drinks, not any funky, high sugar content, sodas, any of that. Not a surprise, no artificial sweeteners, etc. Again, what struck me is they're really, and this seems to be a reoccurring theme from the athletes is, and I think people could learn from this, is keep it simple. There's no need for some complex, overly nuanced approach. It's really simple. The more natural, the better. Most people do it is just eat too much simple carbs. This is just undeniable, and probably one of the simplest ways to sort of learn from athletes is avoiding and reducing that and supplementing that with more protein, more nuts, more veggies, more fruit, and hydration is a big one. Stop drinking soda. I know energy drinks sponsor the sport, but none of these dudes drink energy drinks. In fact, it's actually pretty well known that Red Bull and Monster supplies these riders, so when they're on the podium drinking that Monster, it's not Monster energy drink, it's water. I know there was a theory that this was the case. It's not a theory. You can look it up. It's like well established. So I'm not saying they never indulge, but they're not slugging down that 50-gram sugar can of Monster or Red Bull. So I thought this was kind of interesting. Most of us can work on eating healthier, more vegetables, more fruit, cutting down the carbs, and the big one also is sugar, reducing sugar. It's, sort of antithetical to performance or just feeling good. So definitely cut down on your sugar, but hopefully you guys found this interesting. These are the toughest athletes, in my opinion, on the planet, or certainly right up there. I believe it's the gnarliest sport. So what they're doing, what they're focusing on, I think is probably a good indicator as to what you should be focused on, even if you're not riding or racing, just to feel better. Hopefully you guys found this interesting. Let me know what you guys eat, what's your guilty pleasure. You guys, abiding by a strict diet. I heard somebody say Roxon is doing a carnivore only diet. I did not look into Roxon's diet. This was just Hayden, Eli, Chase, and Jet. And yeah, there was nothing unusual to be found. So leave me a comment. Tell me what you guys are doing. Paleo, keto, carnivore, you sticking to it, keeping it simple, whole foods. So leave me a comment and hope you guys enjoyed the video.